give us where is the outer boundary line of the building, and this is the cross section. In the cross section you can see that the number of floors, whatever the number of floors we have, see I am considering below the ground also I am considering one floor, that is we start from the foundation till the plinth beam, and then we have got ground floor, first floor and second floor, and this is in general we are going to do a 1.5 meter or 5 feet foundation excavation, and we are keeping the plinth beam 0.5 meters above the ground level, and I am considering the live load and dead load as per our standard, that is IS 875. I am considering a live load on the regular floor as 2 kilonewton per square meter, and dead load as a finished load as 1.5 kilonewton per square meter. This is at the regular floor, and at the roof level I am considering slightly less, that is this is the roof loading as per the IS 875, 1.5 kilonewton per square meter live load, and finished load I am considering 4 kilonewton per square meter. This is considering additional load due to waterproofing. Now with this information we have got a 3 meter floor height, ground plus 2 floors, 1.5 meter below the ground, and with all the information I am going to start the project now. To start this project I am starting the SIPE software. In that I am using the SIPECAD. Okay, so I am going to use the SIPECAD. It is taking some time to load. Okay, now I am starting with this new project. I'll just give a name, say demo, say 0807, that is today's date. I'm just giving some file name here. See here the software is asking me, do you want to import any BIM model? We are not importing any BIM model. Actually we are importing the CAD drawing. It's not a BIM model. We are importing the CAD model, CAD drawing. Why the software is asking BIM model? Because it has got a capability of handling a BIM structure also, because SIPE itself is a BIM software, BIM model, BIM software. So if you already have a BIM model ready, like Revit architecture or something like that, you can straight away import that model itself. Okay, you don't have to convert it into AutoCAD or a DXF. But right now I am using straight away the AutoCAD file. That's why I am selecting no here, and after that I am selecting a automatic introduction here, because I already have a drawing ready. So I am selecting automatic introduction through DXF or DWG, and then accept. See, this software is asking me a simple question, that is the fill in the blank type. That means how many basements you want to give. For example, if I click here, it is showing I can go up to 500 floors below the ground. Okay, and similarly above the ground also I can go up to 500 floors. So totally in this software you can use 500 floors above, 500 floors below. So it's highly unimaginable. You cannot think of doing a 1000 floor building anyway, but this software has got a capacity. You can do some trial and error, whatever the practice you want to do, you can try it. But right now I am considering one basement. This is a below the ground, I am considering it as a basement, so it's going to be one floor, and the floor height I am giving 2 meter here as per the drawing. If you look at this drawing here, so I have got a 2 meter floor height for the basement as a below the ground. I am considering it as a basement floor. So 2 meter floor height. Live load and dead load I am considering 0, 0, because at the foundation level we are not considering any live load or dead load, external live load or dead load. Ground floor is 3 meter floor height. Then live load is 2 kilonewton, and dead load is 1.5 kilonewton per square meter. Dead load, whenever I am saying dead load, it is only the floor finish here. The self weight of the structure is calculated by the software automatically. Now again coming to the floors above the ground. Right now I am considering 2 floors above the ground. You can see this is the ground floor. We have first and second floor, so 2 floors above the ground. So I am considering 2 floors above the ground. We can go up to 500 floors. I am considering only 2 floors now. 3 meter floor height, 2 kilonewton live load, 1.5 kilonewton finish load for the typical floor, or floors above the ground. Now coming to the roof level, I am considering 1.5 kilonewton per square meter as the live load and 4 kilonewton per square meter as the dead load. Now since this is a very small building, we are not using any lift machine or something like that, so I am just switching it off. Otherwise you can give a lift machine roof height, its value, load, everything. Okay, that possibility is there. Right now I have just given all the information related to the number of floors, floor height, live load and dead load. Now when I come to the next here, see, this is the actual building that I am doing. You can see, you can witness this, the number of floors. This is a basement floor, sorry, this is the below the ground, and then we have first floor, then second floor and roof. Now actually if you look at this very clearly, the whole 2 meter is below the ground here, but in fact actually we require only 1.5 meter should go below the ground, 0.5 meter should be above the ground. So we need to make this adjustment. So for that I have to give the information here, elevation of the foundation plane. So I am giving this, instead of minus 2 meter, I am giving it as minus 1.5 meter. And then if you click here, you see this, it is changing the height. Okay. Now with this we have got ground floor, first floor, second floor and roof. Okay. Then next, this is the floor. I can change this naming here to say foundation, and then we have got ground floor, then first floor, second floor and roof. And if you want to change any naming here, sorry, the loading you want to change, you can change it. This is actually the general loading. 2 kilonewton is the general loading. In case at a particular place, say for example near the toilet area or near the balcony area, if you want to add additional load due to filling or something like that, you can add it locally. That I will show you later. But this is just a general loading, applied on the floor. Then next, now here software is asking where is the drawing which you are going to import. So I am going to select the drawing here. I am selecting straight away where the drawing I have placed. This is the drawing file which I am going to do the design. I am straight away using all the CAD drawing, including even the cross section also. Now in this screen I have to import the drawing at the roof level. I am importing all the drawings in each floor. The same drawing I am importing again and again at each floor. Okay, at the foundation level we require only the layer of column, all other things are not required. Okay, so now next thing is okay, here the software is asking where the columns are located in the drawing. See, these are all the layers that are created by the architects. We are just simply importing without any modification. So in that I have created the column in the layer called column, COL. So I am just telling the software to look for a column in the layer called column. That's all I have to do. Next, it is asking where is the external boundary lines of the building. So I am just going to select a separate layer called external, which in the AutoCAD drawing you can see this. If I click a separate layer here, if I click on this, so you can see there is a separate layer external, and that will give the boundary line of the extent of the building here. Okay, so I am selecting a external, and the software is also asking me a question: do you want to have a beams surrounding the building? And there are different types of beams available. I am selecting a normal down dropped beam, that is downstanding beam, and I am giving the width and depth of the beam as 20 centimeter by 45 centimeter. So that's all I have to do. Simply select finish. Now the software is trying to read all the drawing. Now here I need to give the code. So you have to select the country code here. When you come to the concrete, we have got different country codes available. For example, we have got American code, European code, EU, Malaysia, Singapore, South Africa, United, the BS code, and also we have got IS code. So I am selecting IS code here, and in case if you want to use a different country code also, you can just select and then use the different country code. Sitting here we can do a building design. Probably if you are doing some building design in Europe, You can straight away use a Eurocode and then do the design and then prepare the drawing and then give it to them, they will construct. So it's a very simple way of using here. Okay, so I'm just selecting IS 456 for time being, that is the concrete building. Now the remaining things, cold form steel, rolled steel, timber, aluminum, all these things are possible to do using this software, but right now since I am doing a concrete design, I am not selecting any of this, I am just neglecting all this. So simply accept. When I accept, you can see the grade of concretes and all is selected as per the Indian concrete code, that is we have got M20 to M55. By default it is considering M25 for slabs, beams, foundation, columns and walls. Okay, and aggregate properties I am selecting 20 mm downsize. You can also see the there is a 415 steel or 500 steel, whatever the steel grade you want you can select here. Now the next thing is coming to the loads. We have already selected the live load and dead load. Okay, while importing the drawing, we have already selected the dead load and live load. Now remaining loads, for example, if you want to add a wind load, you can simply select the wind load here. Now when you select the wind load, select Indian code. Now here in the Indian code you have got IS 875 part 3 2015 code is actually implemented here. You have to give all the necessary information like basic wind speed. Now the wind speed you can select from the chart. This is a replica of IS 875, our Indian code replica here. You can simply use this chart to find out what is the the wind speed. Okay, and also if you want to use a different city wise, you can use this. Say for example Bangalore, you select simply Bangalore and accept. You can see that the wind speed is changed to 33 meters per second. So like this you can also select using all the three methods, using the map or from the chart or from directly, and you have to give all other information like whatever is suggested in the code. For example the land topography also, whether the building is a flat or ascending or descending or whether it is on a hill. So you give all the necessary information. The building software will do the design based on IS 875 part 3, and you don't have to sit and do anything else, nothing else. You just select and then software will do automatically. The same way, if you want to do the seismic design, consider seismic design and select Indian code. So when you select Indian code here, IS 1893 2016 code is selected. You can do the analysis based on model analysis or static analysis, any of this, and you can give all the necessary information like your fraction of live load to be considered, snow load to be considered, and then R value, I value. Okay, you can also just look into this values. If you click on the question mark, software will suggest you as per the code. Okay, whatever the code information is there, everything is available on the screen here. So you can just select all the information straight away. Okay, then seismic zone, you can select either by the chart here, the map, or from the city name. You can straight away select from the city name here. Okay, and you can also click directly whichever the zone you want to design, and similarly you have to give all the necessary information, and the software will do the design based on IS 1893. Okay, so these are all the information that we need to give. See, once you give this information, you can simply accept here. So when you accept this, and when you come to the model here, model creation, you can see the structure is already modeled completely. Okay, this is straight away come from the drawing. See, I am not creating a column by column or beam by beam or giving any coordinate. The structural model is already created, and also you can observe a few things here. For example, this is the column. Hope you are able to see the column, and you can see the column, location of the column. This is actually the edge of the column is, this is the edge of the building. Okay, this is the edge of the building. and the column is actually flushed inside the correct location. Okay, suppose if you have done this the same thing in a different software, probably the column would have come to the center like this. Okay, and you probably this would have gone outside the face of the building, and later you have to sit and modify, you have to give the eccentricity, offset, all those things, but that is not required here because this is a BIM software. So BIM software is nothing but we are actually trying to model the realistic structure, how we are going to build the same way it is being modeled here. Okay, now we have used only few commands. What are all the commands we have given? We gave number of floors, floor height, and what is the extent of the building we have given, and also we said you consider a beam of 200 by 450 mm at the external boundary, and columns you select from the AutoCAD drawing, and the orientation and size is also selected from the drawing itself. So with this information, software has modeled the whole structure. Okay, maybe you are seeing this a very small structure. In case if you are doing maybe 20-25 story structure, that's all you have to do, nothing else. You get the whole structural model readily available. Okay, so it's such a simple software, and anybody can do it, anybody can use it with little knowledge on the civil engineering. It's a very easy to use software. Okay, now let's come to the floor selection. See, I am selecting, this is the cross section of the building. This is a foundation level, ground floor, first floor, second floor, and roof. Now I am selecting a ground floor here. You can also witness this is the ground floor, it's written as ground floor here. Okay, so whatever the background drawing which you are seeing, this is actually the ground floor related drawing. Okay, so probably you are not able to see the walls here. Let me just 1 second. Okay, now it's slightly better. Now you can see the modeling, column numbers, column size, beam size, everything has come, including the external boundary. But the internal beams we need to make a model now. Okay, internal beams we have to prepare ourselves. So what I am going to do is I am going to trace the beam at the location of these walls time being. I am just selecting a beam, define beam. You can see there are different types of beams are available. Okay, so different types of beams are nothing but so we have got a flat beam. This is nothing but hidden beam or a concealed beam, where the thickness of the slab and thickness of the beam remain same. Then we have a normal downstanding beam. Okay, inverted beam, a T beam, a inverted T beam, or you want to put just a cantilever slab. So similarly we have got so many other type of beams here. So at present I am selecting a normal downstanding beam. I am considering 20 by 45 centimeters the beam size. Okay, see, I don't know whether this beam size will be satisfied later or not, but to start with I am starting with 20 by 45 centimeter. Accept. Now I need to trace the beams here. Okay, with the help of some commands here, I am going to select some few commands, OSNAP and all those things. I am just simply tracing the location of beams. Okay, these are all the location of beams. Okay, now after finding the location, I am just selecting extend of beam. Just extend the beam, simply click here and extend like this. Okay, I am extending like this, deleting all the unwanted beams. Once again extend and finish the model. Okay, so that's all. So we have got all the beams modeled completely. Now next thing is there are some question mark. Question mark means there are slabs needs to be provided here. Okay, so you go to the slabs model and select panel manager, define panel. See, we have got different types of slabs available here. For example, joist floor slabs. See, these are all the types of slabs that is being used outside India. This type software can also do this type of joist floor design. Then we have got hollow core design. Okay, there is a hollow core design here. Then we have got a composite floor slab design. Then we have got a waffle slab design. You can do a waffle slab design. Then flat slabs, one-way slab, two-way slab, all those things can be done here, and also mat foundation. So right now I am considering a very two-way slab that is 12.5 centimeter thickness, and click on the slab, click on the beam here. So I am just creating a slab, one panel, and I am copying the same thing to all the slabs here, okay, for time being. Now if you look at the 3D view, you can see this one floor is actually created. One floor is created. Now I am going to put the wall load. So wall load also I am just selecting a load, line load on the beams. I am just putting some load 11.2 kilonewton per meter, add, and these are all the wall loads I have provided everywhere. You can also put a different types of loads. For example, you want to add some kind of a point load. For example, you can put some point load wherever you want, just put a point load, that's all. Or you want to put a line load, a very small line load, anywhere in any direction you can put it like this, okay. Or you want to put some small surface load which is not completely on the slab, only a small portion of this load, that is also possible. You don't require any kind of a beam support for this. The slab itself is more than sufficient, and you can put the load randomly wherever you want on the slab. The slab design will be taken care by the software, okay, for this loading. And now when if you want to remove the loads, you can simply select surface load and then simply remove the loads here which is not required. Similarly, point load also I am just simply deleting, which is not required time being, okay. Then the same thing I am going to do it in the next floor. This is, we come to the first floor here. I am going to copy the whole thing from the ground floor. Everything is copied onto the first floor. So you can see the 3D view. We have a model ready for ground and first floor. So now we have left with the next floor, that is second floor. Once again I am copying it from the first floor. So everything is copied onto second floor. Go to the next level, that is roof. Now when we are in the roof, I am copying once again from the lower level. So now if you look at the 3D view, our complete model is ready, okay. So nothing else to be done. It's so perfect, so accurate. We have placed the beams very accurately, columns, orientation, location, everything, without any coordinates, without any help of DXF, just a drawing import, and we have given all the informations. Now a small necessary changes are required. For example, if you come to the roof level, see, if you can make out from this instruction here that we are working on the roof level, and at the roof level this loading wall load is not required, okay. So we need to change the loading. I am just going to delete this loads, okay, delete this load and then put only the parapet load. I am just putting the parapet load, say for example 2.2 kilonewton per meter. So that's all I am just giving here, 2.2 kilonewton per meter parapet load is given. And then when you come to the floor level, say I am in the second floor, you can see this. See, there is a toilet here. So the toilet means we require a sunken slab. So we can create a sunken slab. Go to the group, select elevation change, and then I am creating a elevation change that is minus 0.2 meter. I am considering 20 centimeter below the floor level, so that's why minus 2.2. Accept. Now I am selecting assign to this slab. So when you look at the 3D view here, if you look at the 3D view, you can make out there is a sunken slab created. You see, this is the regular level, and this is the regular level, there is a sunken slab, okay. So here all the toilets, accessories and all those things, you can make a fixture arrangements and all those things here. Now if you want to see the cross section, how does it look like, you can simply go to the group and select sections. You can select horizontal section, introduce section. You can just draw a cross section line, so that you know cross section is created. You see, this is a cross section created straight away. You want to see the cross section in the other direction, you can select a vertical direction, introduce section from this point to this point. So there is another cross section is created here. So this shows that there is a 200 mm sunken slab. Okay, so we are not actually drawing anything, it is all just generated by the software. So whatever which you are doing here is not just the model of a structure, you are also using, you are preparing the CAD drawing at the background. Okay, this is actually the form-work drawing. The layout of beam, column, slab along the cross section is already generated by the software. Okay, now coming to the lower level, that is at the ground floor level. When you come to the ground floor level here, since this is going to be a plinth floor, okay, so we don't require any slab here. Okay, at the plinth level we don't require any slab, so I'm just deleting the slab. So if you just delete by click of a button, now you can see there is a 3D view. Okay, so this 3D view shows very clearly that there is a foundation level, and then we have got a plinth level, and you can also switch on the ground level here. You can see this is the ground level, and there is a plinth beam above the ground, and we are going to do the filling of this ground floor level here with the earth filling, and then we put a plain cement concrete and then floor finish tiles, and that's what it makes a ground floor. Okay, and then you can just this is the first and second floor, and this is the roof level here. Okay, now in case if you want to see the cross section, how the section is built, how the progress of construction happens at the site, see, you can also use this cross section here. This shows the starting from column level here, okay, foundation level, and then we can go slightly up. You can see this is the plinth beam, and the continuous there is a column progress, and then you can just come to the floor level. There is a first thing is a beam, and then the floor, and then again column continues up. Okay, so like this you can see the progress of work here. Okay, in a cross section manner, you can see the cross section is you can see the cross section like this. You can also see the other cross section in the other direction. For example, you want to see the cross section in this direction. You see this is the cross section here. Okay, and you can see it very clearly, the sunken slab cross section. Whatever is the cross section related to sunken slab is also visible here. Okay, so this option also you can utilize anytime. So now I would say our building model is complete. We have given all the necessary information, number of floors, loads, sunken slab, everything. So we have taken a very less time, and we are ready for the analysis now actually. Okay, so there is nothing that that is required further. We just have to do the analysis. So to save the time, I have already made the analysis and kept it ready. I will just show you the result. Okay, so after the analysis we may find some kind of a message, that is error in the analysis. So it is actually not error, it is only showing some information, so nothing to worry about this. See, first thing is okay, I have not put the staircase. I have to put the staircase. I'll just show you. I'll put the staircase also here before I continue. Suppose in case if you want to put a staircase from ground level to ground floor to first floor, okay, you want to put a staircase. Let me just put a staircase, come to the ground floor level. I am in the ground floor here. There is a staircase model available. I'm just putting the staircase, new staircase, and all the necessary informations related to this, like what is the width of the flight, what is the tread. Width I am considering 1 meter, tread I am considering say 0.25 meter, and riser I am considering 0.15 meter, that is 15 centimeter. And this is a rotation of the the staircase. You want to keep a rotation left side or right side. So right now I am selecting left side rotation. And loads coming from the steps. See, we may put a staircase steps either by concrete slab or by using the bricks. So we can just select poured with a concrete slab in my example. Now here rail loads I am considering railing loads as 3 kilonewton per meter. Floor finish I'm considering 1.5 kilonewton per square meter. Live load on the staircase as per IS code it is 3 kilonewton per square meter. Now coming to the span here, see we can create a single flight or also a dog leg, that is a 2 steps 2 flight. So let us create a different types of there are different types of staircases are available. In that I am going to select a 2 flight, that is a dog legged staircase. Let us give some name here, say staircase ST1, and see here this is giving the information about what is the number of steps that we have, what is the change in level, what is the tread and riser. See it is considered by default 16 steps and it is telling 2.4 meter is the change in the level, but we actually require 3 meter flow height. So I can just go to 3 meter, sorry, this is the 10 steps here and then 10 steps here to reach totally 20 steps to reach 3 meter. You can see there is a 20 steps here and 3 meter. So right now we have got 10 steps in the first flight and second flight. Okay, then there is a width gap between the 2 flight, that is 0.2 meters. You can just give a 0 so that we can save some space. And also if you have a mid landing width, see the mid landing width and the flight width, generally the flight width and the mid landing width remains same, but in case in case of a restriction in the space, if you want to change the width of mid landing, you can change that also. Right now I am considering maybe 0.9 meter or 900 millimeter width of the mid landing. Then accept. See now I am going to place the staircase something like this. I am just going to move it correctly in the correct location. So this is the location of staircase. Okay, just I have to just put it at the correct location here. Now if you look at the 3D view, you can see the staircase is actually placed. Okay, you don't see the steps here in the 3D view, only the waste slab is shown, but in the actual drawing printout it will show the steps clearly. Okay, so this is the first flight, then the mid landing, and then the second flight. Now if you watch very carefully here, this staircase does not have a support, so we need to create some kind of a supporting system, number one. And then second thing is, at the first floor level, to come out from the staircase we require a cutout here. Okay, we need a cutout and then the supporting system for the staircase. So let us create these two things. Now first thing is I am going to put a beam here, so I am just putting the normal beam. Okay, this is one beam, the secondary beam I am putting like this. Okay, then go to the next floor. I can also copy the same thing from the lower level to upper level. So I am just copying the beams, this one and this one, and then go to the next floor, then copy. See now this beam is also created at the next level, and then I have to delete this slab, just delete this slab. And if you look at the 3D view, you can see this the 3D view is created. Now you can see staircase, it has got some plinth beam level, there is a support, and also we have got support at the roof level, that is at the first floor level, and we have a cutout, so people can just simply come outside here. Okay, so I hope you can able to see all these things clearly. Okay, now this foundation, I am going to do the foundation after doing the analysis. Okay, so now I will just come back to the result file. So I am just going to the result file here. Okay, so now if you look at the if you want to see the results, so first thing is, let's go to the envelope and deform shape. Envelope and deform shape will give us the deformation of the structure. Okay, so this is including sulfate plus dead load plus live load, and you can also see the finite elements that is generated by the software. You can see these are all the small finite elements. The width of the finite elements are 25 by 25 centimeters. Okay, so and also you can see the value of deformation. So in my case I am getting the deformation value as 5.31 deformation wherever I have got a red mark, that means somewhere here. You can also see the value. You can just go to the value here and see this. This is showing approximately 5.3 millimeters. Okay, so 5.3 millimeter in the deflection in the slab is very small, so we can neglect it. If you find this value too huge, then you need to do some the revision in the model, but time being I don't think so there is any requirement for any revision, because this 5 millimeter is very small value. So the next thing is, let's come to the column design. I can go to the column design here, and when you see the column design, you can see it has got a different screens. First screen here, see, this is basically giving the layout of column. Okay, and this is the grouping of column, and then here you can see this axial load, moment and shear force for the column. This is for the particular column for C3, and at the roof level, this is where it is shown. Okay, if you want to change the location, for example, you want to see the forces at say ground floor, so you need to select the ground floor, and the ground floor corresponding forces are visible here. Okay, so right now we have got a layout of column, grouping of column, forces available at the different floor level, and corresponding to this floor we already have a design readily available here. So based on these loads, software has already done the design. Okay, the design is also, it is done based on there are corner reinforcement, X face separately, Y face separately, and then we have got stirrups, and then spacing of transverse reinforcement, and then the percentage of steel that is provided by the software. Okay, so for example, if I click any of this, for example, if I click here, you can see the software has done the detailing also, the reinforcement detailing, stirrup detailing, everything it is already done. Okay, in case if you don't want to use this type of stirrup, you can change the stirrup layout also. For example, I am deleting this and I want to put a closed stirrup, okay, from this to this, so we can have a different type of stirrup also. So it is very easy to use, and you can simply accept and then update, and you can see this, everything is perfectly alright, the verification is done. Okay, now you want to see the forces of the column, you can just click on these forces from basement to the roof level, and load combination also you can select whichever the load combination, and then you can see these are all the forces coming from roof level till the floor foundation level. Okay, and moment is there, forces is there, shear is there, everything is there. Then based on these forces, the design is already done. You want to see the 3D view, you can just select the 3D view, and now the software is giving you the design of column 3D view of the reinforcement. You can see this starting from the foundation level. We have got a starter bar, and then there is a lapping of reinforcement, then the stirrup, the reinforcement stirrup are given here. Okay, and also there is a lapping at the floor level. If you want to see, there is a lapping at the floor level here. Okay, so all the informations are available. Then coming to the detailing part, see, the detailing part is nothing but it will give you a complete detail starting from the foundation level, and it goes up to the roof level here. Okay, that means it has done the detailing also, not just the analysis, not just the design, it is also done the detailing. Detailing also, it's very clear and very accurate. For example, it is telling the length of the bar, total length of the bar is so 1600 millimeter. For example, it is showing the length of the bar, straight length of the bar, bend length of the bar. Okay, and this is the lap length. So this is from here to here, this is the lap length. You can see this is the lap length here. Okay, and at the floor level also you can see this is the normal floor level. See, this is the normal floor level, and it is giving you the lap length from here to here, and this length of the rod is actually including this lap length. Okay, so whatever the length it is actually giving here, it is including the lap length here. And also coming to the stirrups, you can see the stirrups detailing. Okay, this is the detailing of each and every leg here. Okay, all the informations are given, and finally you can see the detailing of each and every bar, the quantities, the number, diameter, length, everything is given. This is the quantity of that particular column, reinforcement quantity. Okay, so if you want to extract the drawing from this, you can simply go to the print command, and you can simply select here. Okay, so the drawing is actually created. You see, this is the actual drawing created in the CAD drawing. You don't have to sit and make a drawing, you know, even to prepare this type of drawing it will take a lot of time. So you just have to click and then you get a drawing in CAD format. So such a wonderful software. You can see the quantities are there, drawing is there, detailing is there. So this is what I was trying to tell. It is not only useful for modeling and analysis, it can do the design, detailing, quantity, and also the drawing. Okay, it is for all, from the foundation till the roof, column, beam, slab, staircase, everything. Okay, now suppose if you ask me a question, how this design is performed, what is the guarantee of this, how we can accept the design just like that, because it is showing some reinforcement. Of course everybody will get a doubt. So for that you can go to there is a report generation here. Okay, there is a report generation here, and if I click on this, you can see the design calculation for each and every clauses. For example, software will give you the class, which code, which class, what class says, what is the formula, what is the value, how these calculations are arrived, how the steps are done here. Every information is available here. Okay, in case if you want to take a print of this, you can select the complete listing here, and the software is preparing for a single one floor design. You have got 12 sheets of design calculations. All the necessary informations are available here, complete design calculations. Okay, for the youngsters, for the young engineers, they can learn the design of column much easily, much better. They don't require anybody's help, you know, how to do the column design. See, even in a very good textbook also, you will not find so much 12 sheets of design calculation for one column design. I don't think so that is available. It is so rigorously, each and every steps are clearly shown, and this performance will be done. The same steps are performed for each and every column, each and every step. Okay, so everything will be available here. Okay, you can just go through this, and finally it will tell you whether it is verified or not. All the clauses it is telling it is all verified. So it says all the code checks have been verified. That means to say our column design is perfectly all right. In case if you want to make some change also, you can do some change. You can increase or decrease the number of bars, or maybe the diameter. All those things you can do it. That is also possible. Okay, not only that you have to use the same thing, you can also change it, whatever is required. So this is about the column. So now next thing is we will go to the beam design. Okay, I'm just selecting a beam design. Now here you can see the software is giving us the information. This is actually the floor. Okay, this is showing a second level, and then this is the first frame. So whichever the frame that it is selected, it is giving the longitudinal section of the beam, and correspondingly it is also giving the bending moment and shear force. This is giving the bending moment and shear force values for that particular beam, and this is actually giving a reinforcement calculation for this particular bending moment. This is the required reinforcement. Red color is the required reinforcement, and the green color is the provided reinforcement. Okay, so if I just zoom it here, you can see the reinforcement calculation. AST required. This is the AST required for support. This is the mid support. This is the end support. The red color, the top reinforcement. Below is the bottom reinforcement requirement. So AST required, and the green one is actually the provided reinforcement. So you should make sure that all location the green line should be more than the red line, that is provided reinforcement is more than the required reinforcement. So this is actually satisfied. I'll show you say for example a different frame here. For example, I'm selecting this frame now. Okay, for some reason if I want to delete something, for example I'm deleting some file here, okay, and the software might say that the reinforcement is not correctly provided. It is actually checking the design. See, it is actually giving a design, and also it says that there is some problem here. Okay, that means to say that suppose if you are getting a red circle here, that means there is some problem. And what is this problem? You can easily make out from this. This is the required reinforcement. The provided reinforcement is less here. Okay, now that means to say that the top reinforcement is not provided here in this region. Okay, that is what is the meaning. Now let's provide some steel here. For example, I'm going to provide some reinforcement, and I'm going to select say probably 2 of 12 mm bar, and then I'm selecting from this point. Okay, you have to select from this point to this point, probably from here to here. Okay, I'm selecting some reinforcement, and you can see here this reinforcement is provided, but it's not satisfying. So you can increase the diameter from 12 to 16, not satisfied. You can go to 20 mm also, not satisfied. Let's go to 25 mm. Okay, now this is satisfied here. Okay, now I will try to update the information. Now the software is trying to find out whether what we have done is correct or not. Internal checking it is doing, and also it is saying still it is saying some problem. See, what is the problem here? You can see as per the design, the green line is actually almost it is touching. There is no problem with the reinforcement design, but there is some problem. What is the problem? Let's understand. You can select the report generation, click on the beam, and the software is trying to give us the information regarding which class we have got a problem. So reinforcement arrangement is the problem. See, this is a detailing problem, it's not a design problem. That means the reinforcement arrangement, the longitudinal distance, horizontal distance between the two parallel reinforcement bars, this is actually showing less than 25 mm, required is 20 mm. What is this? See, if you take a cross section at this location, there is a section here, this is a cross section, and you can see the top, see there are 4 reinforcement bars are placed, 2 of 16 mm, 2 of 25 mm. Okay, that is what it is here. So it is all placed in a single layer. So that means to say the gap between the two reinforcement is very less. So the concrete doesn't go inside whenever we are pouring the concrete. So as per the code, the gap between the two reinforcements should be at least more than the 25 mm. So to get that distance between the two bars, you need to move the reinforcement in the second layer. Okay, like this. So to do that, you may have to use the different command here. Place in another layer, select this bar, right click, put it in the second layer here, and the software is giving the very clear indication to the construction person that this is the reinforcement to be provided at second layer only. Okay, and you can see this reinforcement is placed in the second layer now. Now you can just simply update the information. Now the software is checking whether everything is okay or not. Perfectly all right. So this is not a problem now. Okay, now there is no red mark, that means everything is perfect. So like this you can check the design calculation. You want to see the report once again, you can click on the design report here, and these are all the calculations. Okay, step by step calculations, very rigorous, very detailed calculations. You can also see the calculations related to the crack width calculation, which is generally not available in any other software. Okay, this is the crack width calculation, and then long term deflection calculation. You can see long term deflection calculation also. Okay, everything is available here, and it says all the checks have been verified. There is no problem with the beam design. All the checks have been verified as per the Indian code. Okay, if anybody require any design calculation, simply go to the design calculation here, and the software will produce the design calculation report. for that particular beam. A very detailed calculations will be produced, which can be exported to PDF or document format for your further verification. Okay, so this is as far as the beam design is concerned. Now let's go on to the staircase design. You can just simply click on this staircase and then view details, click on the stairs. So you can see this software is already done the design. You just have to click, that's all, nothing else. You see the staircase design is ready, all the top reinforcement, bottom reinforcement, cross sections. Okay, you want to take a print of this, simply click here and then go to the stairs, make it a stair drawing and then accept. You can see the staircase drawing is ready in the CAD. You don't have to sit and make a drawing, it's ready. You can simply give this to a contractor, he will do the execution according to this. Okay, so this is as far as the staircase is concerned. Now next thing is, let's come to the foundation. See the foundation, I'll just delete all this foundation here and then I will try to show you all the types of foundations that we can do in this using this software. Okay, so here we can do a different types of foundation designs. For example, single column element and multiple column element. Single column is for isolated footing, multiple column is for combined footing. We can do a normal square footing, rectangle footing and eccentric footing, and also we can do a pile cap design. Okay, let's see one by one everything. Now I will show you some column. I am going to put a probably a rectangle column. Let us put some rectangle column somewhere here. Okay, and let us put some combined footing. These two looks to be very short distance, and let us put some eccentric footing, single eccentric footing. Let's put this eccentric footing for this, and put some pile cap here for this. Let me put some pile cap. Okay, now you may ask me a question, how the software is considering the SBCF soil and pile cap design. See, in the beginning, whenever we start a project, we have to give this foundation SBCF soil here. So here the software is actually considering the SBCF soil, say 15 ton per square meter, and if you want to give some other value, you can give it here. Okay, from the different type of soil, the software also is suggesting you minimum and maximum SBCF soil. Right now I am considering 15 per ton per square meter as the SBCF soil. So based on this, the software is now doing the design. Okay, now what I will do is, I will show you one by one. For example, I am selecting edit this, and I want to do the design of this footing. See, the design is completed. You can go to a code check and you can see all the codal provisions are verified. Okay, so this is complete, and you can also see the 3D view. You can see the 3D view of the foundation. This is a single column foundation. Okay, now coming to the combined footing, let me just go to combined footing. Now here I am just selecting the optimum design. Okay, just do the design of this. Now the design is combined footing is completed. You can go to the codal check provisions and everything is perfectly alright. There is no problem. You want to see the 3D view, you can see the 3D view of combined footing. Okay, straight away. Okay, and then you see whenever we have a eccentric footing, you cannot have a standalone eccentric footing. Okay, it doesn't exist actually. Generally, if somebody is doing a single standalone eccentric footing, it doesn't work. You should always connect the eccentric footing with a strap beam. So we are going to select a strap beam now. I am considering a strap beam and connecting from this column to this column like this. Okay, like this. Okay, and then let's do a general design. If I give a design completely, so now the complete design is being done. In case if you find some of the footings are in red color, that means still the design needs to be done, iterations are to be done. So I am just doing again and again, okay, so that I can get the clear design. Okay. So now if you want to see the 3D view, still I have this in red color. Let me go to edit, click on this and then do the design. Now code check, see everything is perfect. Similarly nothing else. Okay, we have got a column pile cap here. See, this is the pile cap design. Let's do the design and find out the code check. It says some problem with the ties here. Okay, so what is this tie design? See, this is actually the pile cap design calculation. Software is giving us the pile cap design calculation. It says there is a problem with the reinforcement that is provided. Okay, where is this problem? This is from the tie 2 to 3 and 4 to 1. This is the steel that is provided, steel is not sufficient, 2 to 3 and 4 to 1. So where is 2 to 3 and 4 to 1? See, this is 2 to 3 and 4 to 1, that is the vertical direction reinforcement provided in this direction. This is not satisfied. Okay, so let us go to the design calculation, that is this vertical reinforcement. So go to reinforcement and select the beam in Y direction. Simply increase the diameter to 16 mm from 12 mm. Now you check the code. Now you see everything is perfect. Okay, so like this we can do the checking of reinforcements also. Every design calculations are ready. Now similarly, coming to the eccentric footing, come to eccentric footing, any design, and then you can see the design of footing with the 3D view. You can see the 3D view. Okay, and you want to see the pile cap 3D view. This is the pile cap with the 3D view here. Okay, so this is the pile cap with the 3D view. Fine. So you want to see the strap beam design calculation, so you can go to strap beam and edit any strap beam here. So this is the strap beam. Actually it is giving the reinforcement 5 of 25 mm bar at top, 5 of 25 mm at bottom, and you can see 3D view. So this is the 3D view of strap beam connecting from eccentric footing to normal footing. So if you want to see the whole foundation together, you can see the 3D view here. See, this is the 3D view of complete foundation with along with the reinforcement. Okay, this is a pile cap, this is strap beam, this is eccentric footing, this is combined footing, normal single foundation. There are various types of footings I have just shown you. Okay, now the eccentric footing is very important nowadays. Many people are using this because of a restriction in the plot boundary line. Okay, you can see this. This is the boundary line restriction and the footing cannot go outside. So this way you can use the eccentric footing. Okay, so hope you are able to understand. We can able to do a complete modeling analysis, design, detailing, quantities and drawing preparation using this software. Okay, now let us go straight away and see the report generation. For example, you want to submit this design report to somebody, you can just go to the report generation here, and software will give you complete design calculations. Okay, starting from it will ask you what is the file number, version number of the program, the license number, and then what are the loads that you have selected and all those things, wind load, seismic load, and then all the informations are available here. Okay, you can simply export it and then make some necessary changes also if you want to make some change, but you don't have to sit and type all the report. Everything is available here. Okay, now similarly you want to find out the total quantity for the structure. Now you can just go to the report for the quantities here. Now the software will give you quantity for item wise. For example, at the basement level, that is a footing level, you have got a pad footing, pile cap and strap beam. So separate information related to what is the formwork quantities, what is the volume of concrete required, what is the reinforcement required for individual elements, and totally how much it is required. To do the total foundation, you require 1.9 tons of steel, 26.7 cubic meter of concrete. Okay, so you can just straight away buy the concrete and steel and then start working on this today itself. The ground floor separate information, ground floor, first floor, also the total job requirement. For complete building, we require for foundation 1.9 tons of steel and 6.7 metric tons of steel for upper floor. Okay, so you require total complete building designs, the quantities of reinforcement and the volume of concrete, everything is available here. Any questions? Somebody is asking me question. Okay, fine. So if you want to find out the diameter wise quantities, you can just go to the diameter wise also. You can find out the diameters of each and every structural elements. It gives a diameter wise quantities. For example, it is 8 mm, 10 mm, 16 mm. What is the weight required in kgs lengthwise? Okay, for individual structural element, diameter wise quantities of reinforcement is also available. See, you can simply give this, take a print and give it to a contractor. He can just go and procure the reinforcement according to the quantities that you are giving straight away. Okay, now coming to the drawing part. See, you need to prepare a drawing and submit to the contractor to prepare the execution. So let's go to the drawing part here, and let's select all the structural elements for making the execution. For example, I am starting with foundation reinforcement, detailing of columns, column schedule, floor plan layout, then reinforcement framing drawing, slab reinforcement, staircase reinforcement. All this information I want to take it in a DWG format. Okay, so I want to just simply accept this. So the software is preparing the drawing in the DWG format. Now let us see. See, the software is actually created so many drawing sheets. For example, it has created say around 15 drawing sheets, and it is also telling which are the drawings to be printed, drawing sheets. Some drawings are to be printed in A3 sheet, some drawings in A2 size, like that. Okay, so totally there are 15 drawing sheets are available. Now you want to see the detailing of drawing, you can just click here and you can see all the detailing of drawings are available. Okay, and for example, you want to see some details here. See, this is giving the detail of this is the detail of foundation plan. Okay, foundation plan with sizes, and the schedule of reinforcement here. You can see the reinforcement schedule, and then the cross section. You can see this is the cross section of reinforcement. The strap beam, this is the strap beam. Okay, the complete detail of strap beam, and also it is giving the quantities for the foundation, how much reinforcement, diameter wise, length wise, weight wise, tonnage, everything is given. Okay, pile cap drawing. See, all the informations are available here, and also you have seen this the column details. Already you have seen this in the output. You can also see the details like bar bending schedule, BBS bar bending schedule is available, and also more information related to the column for construction purpose. Like here you can see the floor wise, what is the sizes, volume of concrete, formwork required, then the cover that is required, concrete grade, longitudinal reinforcement quantities, stirrup quantities, steel quantity per cubic meter, every information is available. Okay, similarly you want to see the column schedule. If you want, you can see the column schedule. This is the schedule of column, that is reinforcement sizes, the diameter. Okay, stirrup, bar bending, every information is available here. Similarly, you want to see the framing plan. So for example, this is the framing plan, the column number, beam number, slab numbering, okay, and beam reinforcement drawing. This is the beam reinforcement drawing. For example, it is giving you longitudinal section of a beam, top reinforcement, additional top reinforcement, bottom reinforcement, cross section, and also finally you will see the quantity of reinforcement for beams separately. This is only for the beams, okay, diameter wise, length wise, weight wise, and then total reinforcement, okay. So there is a slab reinforcement also. Here you can see the slab reinforcement. This is the reinforcement in the slab, bottom reinforcement in x direction. This is bottom reinforcement in y direction, okay, and there is a top reinforcement here. Where is that? Here. Okay, so this is the top reinforcement drawing. Okay, so this is the top reinforcement drawing in x and y direction, and finally we have the staircase drawing. See, this is the staircase drawing. This is the complete staircase drawing. So at it together, if you want to take a printout straight away, you want to generate all these drawings in a CAD format, you can simply select print all and then select all the drawing, select the file name, and then simply accept here. You can see the software is generating totally 15 drawing sheets. Okay, so this is total drawings, everything comes in a CAD format. This is the AutoCAD and all the drawings have come in the CAD format here. Okay, every information is available, all the informations are available. Okay, so hope you have enjoyed this software, the capability of the software. This is what